listeners, welcome back to another episode of Shooting Rabbits in a Barrel, a podcast brought to you by Scarecrow Consultants. I'm thrilled once again today to be joined by our very own Scarecrow Si. Hi Si, welcome back to Shooting Rabbits.
Hi everyone, hi Jess, good to be here again.
Thanks for willingly coming back. There's no...
Do you like my special t-shirt? I've put my special t-shirt on as well.
I do like your special t-shirt. I enjoy your surname a lot because for me growing up it was Perry the Platypus on Phineas and Ferb. So then when you say Perry, that's where I go to, and then I have to go, no, Si. It's Si.
Platypuses are cool.
They are. You know what? We can digress about this afterwards because I read a whole thing about how they just solved a platypus that died on its way to Winston Churchill.
Oh, yes, Winston Churchill's platypus. Yeah.
Okay, but we'll set that aside because you have a story to share with us today. To remind our listeners, it's a story and a lesson. You all know that by now. Yeah. So go on then, Si. What story would you like to share with us today?
Okay, well, for many of the listeners, this will be like prehistory. You won't even have been born. This is the late 1970s. I was trying to decide exactly when. I would think I was about 12 or probably about 12, so about 1977. And I was quite interested in explosives. You know, we had a good chemistry teacher at school, not like the modern day science where everything's so safe. We had a chemistry teacher that taught us how to make gunpowder, for example. Mm-hmm. This isn't a story about gunpowder. I've got another tale for that for in the future. So I decided, okay, explosives are great. Me and my friend Julian Hughes, we used to make gunpowder at school, and I was at home one day and I thought, I'll see if I can make a Molotov cocktail. Okay, classic, insurrectionist's weapon. Now I'm 12. Okay, so I'm living in a house in the West Midlands, big sort of field behind the house, but we all used to play in. So I thought, I can test it, safely. So I thought, right, Molotov cocktails. You need a container, you need some petrol, and you need some rag. Okay, and obviously some matches. Container, no problem. Glass milk bottle, they were all the thing in the 70s. Petrol. Now, this was a little bit more of a problem, okay? I couldn't really get any petrol. But my dad was a painter and decorator. So we always had lots of sort of terps and white spirits around the house. So I thought, I'll see if white spirits will do, because I read the bottle, it said inflammable. So got some white spirits, snuck it out into the field, put it in a little dish, nicked some matches. Yes, it burns, great. I've got something that burns.
Okay.
So if you want, that's the first component of my the first crucial component of my Molotov cocktail, something that will burn, white spirits. I've got my milk bottle, second component, got my container, nice and sturdy. Third component, rags. Well, I thought, I haven't really got any rags. But in the field behind the house, it used to be full of, it was a bit of a sort of rough, scabby field, and it had lots of rose bay willow herb growing in it. Now, I don't know if you know, when rose bay willow herb turns to seed, around this time of year, it goes like fluffy, strandy stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, that looks like it might burn. So I collected lots of rose bay willow herb that had gone to seed. Scrunched it up into a sort of wick kind of arrangement and lit it, and yes, it burns. So fantastic. I've got all of the components of my homemade Molotov cocktail. Okay, cool. What
Great.
More could a 12-year-old boy want on a long summer vacation holiday? You're out in the field behind the house, the sun's shining, you're going to make a Molotov cocktail. Yeah, all right, you might set fire to the grass, but you'll be all right. You'll be able to stamp it out. Okay, so I get my glass milk bottle, I get my white spirits, pour it in carefully, get my lots of rose bay willow herb, put that in the top, give it all a shake so it's all soaked through with the white spirit. And I've got all my friends around me now, waiting to see this huge explosion that we're going to have, because this is going to be the thing for the summer, you see, making explosives and probably throwing them at each other, as you do, different times. Yeah, kids learn, some serious lessons in the 70s. So I get them to all stand back. I find a relatively clear bit of the field where I don't think I'm necessarily going to burn us all alive straight away. Got some matches. Neither of my mum and dad smoked, but we did have a coal fire, so we had matches in the house. So I snuck some matches out, and I'm holding this bottle at arm's length. I've got a match, and I light the rose bay willow herb, which goes up, really well. It's soaked in white spirits, and I run away. Okay, to a safe distance of about 4 or 5 yards, as they were in those days. Yeah. 36 inches. And the flame got lower and lower and lower. It got to the neck of the bottle, and it didn't explode.
Oh. Yes.
What I'd invented was the white spirit rose bay willow herb lamp.
Oh.
It worked very well as a nice little lamp, gave off a lot of heat, got a lot of light, but it didn't explode. So
disappointing.
And yeah, very, very disappointing. No big explosion. All my friends, as 12-year-old friends do, lots of ribbing and probably threw stones at me and things like that, because that's what you did in the 70s.
Oh.
So it's a very short story, but that's the story. But there's a moral to this story.
Go on then.
See? And it's about testing. You see, because I'd done some unit tests.
Yeah.
I'd made my wick, that burnt, pass. Sturdy container, pass. White spirits, inflammable, pass. So I'd got all 3 components of my Molotov cocktail. They all passed their unit tests.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this big demonstration you can think of as an integration test.
Yeah.
Put it all together. Really important part of engineering. Put them all together, do the integration test. The integration test failed. Yeah. But that's an important lesson, because you can't always assume that things are going to work. And had I gone into full production of Simon Perry's homemade rose bay willow herb and white spirit Molotov cocktails for me and my friends, we would have had a patent pending. We'd have had a very, very disappointing summer holiday when they all failed to go off. So it's just a little story to illustrate the importance of both unit testing and integration testing, but to make the point that your unit tests might go very, very well, doesn't necessarily mean that your integration test is going to work.
A very valuable lesson.
There you go.
Also, potentially a lesson is don't invite your stakeholders to that first integration test.
Well, yes, I was so confident, overconfident.
Yeah. The classic engineer.
Yeah. But that's a very good other lesson, Jess. Yes, don't involve your stakeholders till you're sure that it works.
Yes, spare yourself some embarrassment and some stone throwing. My goodness. Okay, I just really enjoyed how you were very matter-of-factly explaining how to make. I just couldn't. This is my career now, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's talk about unit testing, integration testing, the role of a systems engineer. What's our job then when we're doing this testing? Because you could argue that your unit tests are more subject matter experts, somebody who understands like what material is going to burn, structural integrity of the container. What's our job then as systems engineers in that unit and integration testing?
Well, I guess to sort of bring it all together, to make sure that the requirements for all of the components are passed down. I mean, I was a one-man, engineering company, so I was playing all of the roles. Another good lesson that a person is not a role; a person can fill many roles. But yeah, from a systems engineering point of view, we'd architected a homemade Molotov cocktail. We'd pass the components down and their requirements to the individual subject matter experts, me, who did their unit tests, which they all passed. Then I guess that, from a systems engineering point of view, we integration testing or having a presence and a say in integration testing is very important. I mean, some organizations don't do that. some organisations do. I know. I think you know them as well. I won't name them, but I think we both know somebody who's, although they're called a systems engineer, they're almost like a lead integration engineer in the projects that they work on. So I think sort of that integration test level, it's certainly something that us as systems engineers, we need to be getting involved in, even if the actual integration testing is done by, again, other stakeholders. I think we definitely have a large input into it, because it is bringing together all parts of the architecture into the whole, which is exactly what we're about. We're about looking at the whole system and seeing how it should work.
Yeah. So systems engineers, constant supervision throughout the project, throughout the testing, unlike you had in your summer holidays in the 70s. Clearly.
Oh yeah, we were feral. We were just let to go and do stuff.
Fab. Well, at least we got a good lesson out of it. Good engineering lesson, and nobody was hurt. So, because I doubt you did a risk assessment, did you, as a 12-year-old boy?
Well, no. No. Well, I mean, no. I to be fair, I did try and set off the homemade Molotov cocktail on a fairly bare piece of the field where it was a bit stony. So I was obviously thinking, I don't want to set the field on fire straight away.
Yeah.
That was more what my brother used to do, but that's may or may not be another story.
Okay, that's definitely a different story. Yeah, we don't want to anger your brother again with another episode with the contest the factual accuracy of. Okay, and moving on. Okay, so Si, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your good story and your good lesson. Listeners, if you have another story of a feral summer as a child where you can bring some systems engineering lessons, we'd love to have you on the podcast. You can email us at rabbits@scarecrowconsultants.co.uk, and
detected at the front door.
And Alexa's joining us too. So
yes,
everybody wants
sorry,
in.
that was my Ring doorbell joining in. Even my Ring doorbell wants to get involved.
That's right. Everybody wants to be on Shooting Rabbits. Right, listeners, we'll see you again next time. Thank you so much, Si, and see you later.
Bye.
Bye.